Welcome to the kunalarora Show with Dennis Rooney and Bruce. Here we are with our first guest, Sean Donnelly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, Rooney and I were discussing who we would want as the first guest.
Yeah.
And it was without thought you.
Really?
Yes, without thought. Because to us, we consider you tried and true.
Really?
Yeah. It's like every show I've ever produced in New York City, you're like easily in my mind. I go, gotta have Donnelly close it out.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
so nice of you. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
You're
I'm
reliable.
Honored. I'm honored.
Yeah. You just get the you come in, you kill, and then that's it. You walk out to the sunset, even though it's like the middle of the night.
It's the Wild West of comedy.
Yeah, you are. You come in and you're like, and then you murder, and then you leave, and I go, this is the man.
I imagine Sean walking towards the sunset just as a silhouette, and then he jumps and clicks his heels, and it's just freeze frame. That's it. And Donnelly is over there. So how is everyone today?
Good.
How are we doing with guests?
Is this the show?
This is the.
Wow, there's a lot of pressure on me. Holy
I'm
shit!
gonna tell you right now, the show's only three minutes.
yeah.
And that's really it. We just sing your praises and throw you.
It's just called checking in. How are you today?
Yeah,
I'm good.
that's
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Well, we have like a string. We have 50 guests today.
Oh, you do?
No, I'm kidding. No, it's just you. It's just you. Yeah. No, this is a lot of pressure for us too, because we've never done a guest before, and we're thoroughly afraid.
Oh, you
Yeah.
shouldn't be. We're all friends.
Yes, I know.
Are we afraid?
Well, I'm afraid.
I thought this was supposed to take some of the weight off our shoulders. Right? It's like we get someone funny in, let him be funny.
No. That's the case, but we still got to carry the fucking thing.
I feel so close to you right
Good,
now.
as you should.
For those of you who are just listening and not watching on the YouTube, we are crammed in at our regular table. We don't always have the dog on our lap, but today we decided 3 people wasn't enough. Let's bring in a quadruped.
It's hot in here, right? It's real nice.
I like it. You're like it's like a character from a mystery who probably did it. Like you're like carrying a dog. You know what I mean? Like a guy who comes and just makes like sassy comments during the mystery.
Yeah.
He's like
a murder in Chesterfield. I doubt it.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Bruce needs to be smoking a pipe with a little hat
Yeah, with an
on.
ascot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know the Sherlock Holmes hat on the dog.
Wishbone ain't shit when it comes to Bruce.
Let him nude.
Oh,
There you go. Let it breathe.
Now this is the after dark portion of the show,
We were.
or after bark, if you will.
Hey! That's
Joke
why we
number
had him
one.
on,
That's
ladies
what
and
I'm
That's
doing.
where we
I'm gonna tell you
go.
right now. If I said that, he's immediately hitting that extra. That's how little faith this. But that's what I think.
It deserves it though.
It does.
Yeah.
But there's forgiveness in what people do in terms of as a guest.
Yeah.
You get a lot more leeway.
Yeah.
Whereas I do not. And there's one thing that Dennis said to me when I made a pun once. He looked at me and he goes, and he said it back to me and he goes, "You think I want to hear that?"
You think this is what I come here for?
Yeah,
this
that's
bullshit?
fair. That's fair.
You're like an abusive father.
We get it all out.
That is our relationship. Don't you? Isn't there somebody in your life that you kind of like guide in a way, and you feel like you have to give them some, like it's just. I don't know. Is it like maybe you get older? Because I think we're closer in age.
We are closer in age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dennis is fairly younger.
Yes, he is.
It's like time is catching up with him.
Yeah.
Still probably going to be the first to die out of us 3,
yeah,
even though
absolutely.
you guys got me on age.
Yeah. But it's just like that's the thing. So we have that, and you don't. Is there somebody in your life that you kind of guide in a way?
Yeah, I think with comedy you run into that a lot because you're friends with like comics at all different levels of comedy. So there's certain times where like I always try to do that kind of portion of things like not in a big timey way.
Right.
In like this is a
that's
top
truly-
class operation.
Yeah,
you got
So
going on.
unprofessional. I'm embarrassed for the podcast right now.
No, so basically the answer is like, yeah, some guys who haven't been in comedy as long as me, you feel it that way, and then like, but that's pretty much it because that's the only like expertise I had to give is like, hey, I've been in this shit long enough. I can give you you advice about the shit.
Because there's no bosses, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like that Nate Bargatze bit, which is great before the Cosby thing happened. He had that great bit about who am I going to walk up to Cosby and say I'm out when what am I going to? There's no HR in comedy. So
Absolutely.
when I was starting out, I always took the advice of comics that I thought were like, hey, you're like doing it, and I think you have to give a realistic amount of advice for what your experience is. So that's I had the same thing with certain people.
I'm constantly, and I think you and I give Dennis the same advice.
Wait a minute. That's what hold on. Because you started this and I didn't want to interrupt Donnelly, but are you what do you feel like you're my mentor or something?
No. I wouldn't say I'm your mentor.
The amount of panicked calls I've gotten from you, when I see your name on my phone and it's ringing, I just answer, I'm like, who wronged you now? But apparently you're my mentor. Okay, I didn't realize that.
What a
Okay.
realization to be having today on this podcast. Is the dog my security blanket? Are you training me?
I'm literally getting pushed out. Donnelly, you're here to replace me, essentially.
Yeah, that's really
what
what
it
it
Oh my
is.
God!
Yeah.
On the first guest episode.
Yeah, I know.
This thing was hanging by a thread.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
This friendship and this show is over.
No.
Yeah.
I usually don't start sweating profusely until Act 2, but I started right at the top of this episode, just dripping right away.
I remember. Well, Dennis, you both get very. I get nervous as well. That's why I try to give like non pompous advice in comedy.
But
Like I try to give like realistic advice in comedy.
That's true, but this whole nervousness that you're talking about, I've never experienced it. You know?
What? Yeah.
With you.
Oh,
Like, I've
okay.
never seen you have this kind of inexperience before.
no, not inexperience. What do you mean? You mean as far as comedy goes? Oh.
Like you're never walking around. You say to me, you've told me you're nervous.
Yeah.
You've told me that you have these thoughts.
Yeah.
And I've listened to your podcast.
Yeah.
Brand New Jerks.
Yeah.
I've listened to I've listened to a bunch of episodes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And
I
I'll catch
appreciate
in
it.
from time to time. I'll check in from
You-
time to
you
time.
do. You absolutely do.
I do. Because I'll text you.
Yes.
And I'll be like, oh, this, and I'll reference the podcast, and I feel so. The responses, you're like, yeah. And I go, I'm like, thanks. Oh. I feel like I'm texting him like a fan. And he goes, yeah, that was good. And I was like, okay.
It's like you wait online.
You know what it is? I'll tell you. You know what's interesting about that? Part of me feels probably weird, like writing anything on like pontificating on the
Yes.
podcast. Like it's not me trying to be like, yeah, you got it, fan kid. it's me going like, oh yeah, you're my friend, so I'm not going to be like, yes, that was brilliant when we did that, or that.
I know- I know,
let's
I know.
expand upon the genius that is
I
the
know,
Brand New
I
Jerks
get it,
podcast.
but it's just, and I understand that feeling.
Yeah,
But to get back to what you're saying is you often express that you get nervous.
Absolutely.
And I've never seen it. I believe you. I'm not saying you're lying.
Yeah.
But I believe you're nervous. But you've always appeared cool as a cucumber.
Oh, thank you so much.
I think nerves also come out in different ways, especially on stage. Like one of my favorite things about Donnelly's stand-up. Donnelly, yeah, I'm about to blow smoke up your ass, heavy. No, Donnelly gets mean on stage. Donnelly's the nicest guy in the world, but he will go off on an audience, and nothing makes me happier.
Yeah.
And you do it with such a smile on your face, and it feels so joyful to enjoy. But like if I do that, I know that there's like, oh, this man's truly venomous.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much: if I'm yelling like what you're talking about on stage, what I've realized over the years is if I'm doing it like that, I'm not actually really mad. I'm probably frustrated if something's not going right, but I'm not mad. And then you're trying to just win them back. When I don't know if you guys have ever, we've done shows together where if I really am upset, which has only happened a couple of times, I will drop the smile and I will just get as vicious as possible and say the most. It happened to me in Saratoga once. It happened to me where I just stopped it and I go, you're like, blame them and just was like, I'm stopping. I want to make this as awkward as possible for you because you can't stop talking and then just make mean, basically just be as mean, actually really mean.
And hopefully there's only a few minutes left in the set. Hopefully you're not doing this minute 15 of a headlining set. You're like, well, now I got to sit in this for a half hour, this bet I've made.
That's where the maniac comes in. It's like, yeah, sometimes I've done that. Not even that, but I had like 15 minutes left once, and I was like, all right, now let's see if I can win this back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Set the timer for 15. Set it and forget it.
Now, the reason we brought this up, and this is all circling around to what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So we have this thing on the podcast where it's called Am I the Asshole?
Right.
Okay. So, and I'm bringing up things that I've done, things that have occurred to me, things that I've experienced to Dennis, and I go, am I the asshole in this situation?
Okay.
And in this circumstance, I want you to pitch to us a situation where you believe you were the asshole, maybe, and then I will defend you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You know what's so funny is, okay, I thought you meant like where I felt like an asshole in a situation. I have a story about me feeling like an asshole.
If you feel like, listen, I'll make you unfeel like an asshole.
Okay, because I probably accidentally was the asshole in this. Okay, so what ended up
You're
happening?
never the
it's
asshole in my eyes, baby.
Never an intentional asshole, only an accidental asshole.
Was a pretty good story where I went to Manhattan College for like a year when I was like 18 years old. And I went home because my parents were like, "You're failing. We're not going to pay for
Where
this."
were you going to school before?
No, Manhattan College, and then I went to Nassau, and then went to Hunter.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, I was there for the year, and when I went to the the preliminary the what do they call it when you show up before the school and you do like the
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
don't
just can't think
remember
of the word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like orientation.
Orientation.
There
That's
we
it,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I made friends with this dude, and we hung out the whole time during orientation. I was like, all right, I already know somebody from when I go.
You met him at orientation.
I met him at orientation.
What gravitated you to him?
I don't know. I think we just like struck up a conversation, and then orientation. I think is like it's not even that long.
No.
But I remember being like, all right, cool. We're like, I made a friend, and I also actually had some friends that already went to the school, so
Right.
it wasn't that imperative. But I was like, all right, this guy seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then like pretty much the minute we got to the actual school year, the guy just completely was a complete asshole. Right, just completely ghosted me and ignored me. Like, I'm like, hey,
stop
man,
hanging out with you.
Stop hanging out with me.
Why?
Big timed you.
I never knew why, right?
Okay.
So that's that. Right?
Sure.
Now,
I'm wondering where this goes. I'm kind of nervous.
I go for a year
Yeah.
to Manhattan College. The following year, I'm back visiting some friends that were still going to Manhattan College.
Sure.
And we're just happen to be in my friend Tim's dorm room, and we're just looking at his photo book. I guess
Right.
like gals do. You know
Sure,
how it is.
of course.
And, and
You're looking at his photo album
yeah, he had like a photo album of
that he
like,
brought to college.
that he had at college. That was from college, like
Not
the
a
year
yearbook.
prior. What?
Not a yearbook.
Not a yearbook, like a photo
Okay.
album that he made with like he was like bound in leather and like I don't know. It was kind of
You went to
looking
school in
back
the
on it.
1800s? Had a leather bound book?
He had one of those cameras with the hood that you put over.
I'd like to show you paintings of my former classmates.
You break a light bulb every time you use it?
So I don't even know why, but he was looking. It was like photos from like the year previous. Maybe he brought it out because I went the year before, and he's like, "You'll remember this year." I don't know. We're looking
Jesus
through the photo book. It's me,
Yeah.
my friend Randy, who's
Yeah.
one of the funniest people I've ever met, and this
Yeah.
guy Tim, whose photo book it was.
Right.
And we're looking through it, and a picture of that kid shows up.
Yeah.
And I immediately I point to the kid and I go, "That kid's a dick." I go,
no.
"That kid's," right away, as loud as I could, almost
Yeah.
like I was on stage at Soul. "That kid's a dick," right? And my friend Randy lets out this awkward like that,
Yeah.
and my friend Tim solemnly goes, "That's Bill so and so. He was my best friend here and my lab partner. I don't know why you mentioned that. Over the summer, he fell off a cliff and died." Now I put to you,
So wait a
am
minute.
I the asshole?
Did he, when you thought he ghosted you, was he actually a ghost? Was he dead? Is that why you never saw him? Or like you would see him on campus and he'd ignore you?
Bill Thompson? He hasn't gone to this school for 20 years.
He's just in the lab floating. Yeah. He's near the beakers.
He's in one of the test tubes, exactly. But like so I asked you, because I literally, my friend Randy, I mentioned he went, because he thought,
Yeah.
and to add more information to the story,
Sure.
I full on did hear, I didn't know it was that guy.
Yeah.
I heard over the summer some kid that went with me to school fell off a cliff and died.
Okay.
So here's the thing, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yes. Absolutely. See, this is the thing.
I want to know how this kid fell off the cliff.
That's
first of
the
all.
other thing,
Was
too.
he being an asshole and he fell off
Yeah.
the cliff?
No, I think it was just like he was hiking and it was like just an accident and rock climbing or something and fell. I don't know. I don't think there was anything like where somebody's drunk and they fall off a roof or
Okay,
something. It
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Wait,
you know?
the asshole part came from him just ignoring you.
The asshole part was like this
On
kid's
campus, though.
I was like best friends with this kid for a week during
Yeah.
orientation, whatever it
Sure.
was, 4 days.
Yeah.
And then the minute I got, I'm talking like level of asshole where it's like, hey, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
His name's not Tim. So,
Right.
hey, Tim, whatever. And you look at me and then just walk the other way. Like, I'm talking
Right.
like full on ghosted, like in your face.
Sure.
Did you get labeled as a nerd or something and he found out? He's like,
The
"Don't
first
hang
week
out with
of
that guy."
school, maybe I hung out with my friends. We all skateboarded. Maybe we were nerds for that.
Was
but like,
he a skateboarder?
no, he was like I don't even know what he was.
Was it? Well, yeah. What group did he belong to?
I think it was like the guys who probably played a sport in high school but didn't in college group.
Yeah.
Where like they were into sports. Probably would have been a guy who like loved MGM bets on the app when if he survived.
People got into hiking.
survived till the
after their
iPhone.
freshman year.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was into the cliff climbing situation.
So I think he was just a guy. I don't know what.
Where was he from originally?
I think he was from maybe Connecticut, like somewhere around
Right.
New York.
Right.
But
a lot of the tri-state does look down on Long Island. I think to a degree.
Yeah, but why would you? Like, I knew I was from Long Island.
Right from the get-go.
This was also 22 years ago.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
I'm sorry, 20. I'm sorry. This is 25.
I love the idea of Sean trying to figure it out. Like you say, hey, Tim, and he looks away, and you're like, is this because I'm from Long Island? Is that why?
I know some good delis.
Nassau County represent. Like,
This guy said the best pizza's in Nassau County. Everyone knows it's in Connecticut.
It's Pepe. It's Frank Pepe.
which is phenomenal.
It is really good. It's solid.
But so here's the thing. It's like I think you can. Like I did feel like I think I was the asshole and I wasn't at the same time.
Did the kid start crying after he explained to you? Well, he's like, well, that was my best friend.
No, it was one of those moments where
Were him?
the anxiety of the moment really just overtook me. Like I was like I could have broken out in a cold sweat at any moment.
Right.
But he kind of did that. He diffused it. But he did. The response to me saying that was like a we have a problem type of scenario. Like he was like
he sounded like
for some reason, the funniest part to me was he goes, "That's Tim so and so. He was my best friend here and my lab partner. How dare you defile? How dare you defile the bond of my lab partner?"
the solemnness in which he sounds like he said it to
What lab
you.
class are we talking about here?
I don't even know. I'm guessing it was a college lab, so maybe it was like chemistry.
Right.
Maybe it was like engineering, or I don't know.
Yeah, I
don't
didn't
know.
think it was gonna be like an English lab class, man. I'm like, it just depends.
What kind of a lab class?
Dexter's
was it?
laboratory. I don't know.
All
What
right, that's fair enough. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
You guys should have hit me on that one. That was bad.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you checking yourself. Because we're both like, we look at you in high regard, so we feel apprehensive to kind of knock you down a peg, you know?
Hey, do it.
You're going to have to do it because I can't really reach it.
Yeah, that's true. It's
I feel like by the end of this podcast, I'm going to be outside.
Hey, lean in a little more.
You're
bud.
fucking leaning against me.
I'm sorry. I like your company. There
Like
we go.
this?
That's
No.
better.
I can give you a comedy version of Am I the I do the thing where my asshole
In this situation, I don't believe you're the asshole at all.
At all, right?
Because
Yeah.
this guy brings up the fact that, he built up the story. He built up the relationship.
Yeah.
He was my best friend and lab partner. How close of friends could you possibly be if this is the thing that you bring up? Now, if he had said he was my best friend, I was there at his sister's bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's a different story.
But when you go, he's my lab partner.
it's like you're just dealing in college terms.
Yes,
You're doing
exactly.
it in the bubble of a year of college.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
how close could you possibly be?
Yeah, you're right.
That's the slip up right there. That's the tell
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
So I think this guy built the story to kind of make you feel weird.
I think that's what I mean. Like to
Yes.
add the extra lab partner. It's like when you're writing a resume and you're just adding shit. Like what were your skills at
Fluffing
that
it.
job?
Yeah.
Yes, you're padding. He padded the relationship
He's
to
like-
make you feel weird.
Make me feel weird.
Yeah.
He was probably going to be best man at my wedding.
Yeah.
He was probably going to be godfather to my first child.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Then you come into my dorm room.
If
and you
I
call an
lost a
asshole?
kidney, he'd probably give me a kidney. Like he just adds.
Yeah,
he
he
just does their whole
He
lifetime
just
together.
built it like Godfather 2 in my dorm.
Today's actually his birthday.
Where my roommates play with their bunks.
In my dorm.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
He padded. That's
the
a great
situation.
term.
It's
He
like-
padded.
right.
he was
It's like if he said, "Oh, my buddy Steve, we go to the same barber.
Yeah.
He was my homie."
It's supposed to diminish in importance.
Yeah. It doesn't make
exactly.
any sense.
It sounds like in the moment he was probably even excited that you said this because
Yes.
now he gets to be like, not indignant, but he gets to be like, that's actually my buddy Tim, who's
Yeah.
now dead.
Yeah.
And he was really close to me. It's like when you touch somebody a certain time, like you're messing around with new people, and then you bring up one certain thing and someone like flies off the handle.
Yeah.
And you're like, everything else was fair game, but now this is all.
Now this is,
you know
which
what
is
I
a lot
mean?
of comedy audiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, absolutely, that's exactly what happened.
Someone's going to be listening to this and be like, my dad died in a rock climbing incident. That's
Yeah.
not funny. You shouldn't joke about it.
That
but-
I have a quick story about that. I was in Minneapolis, and I'm not the asshole in this story, but it's like one
We'll
of
be
those
the
things.
judge of
where-
that, Sean. Yeah. Anyone who's like, I'm not the asshole, it's like, hold on.
Hey,
Let's,
this guy, you're coming in here swinging a lot all of a sudden. You're taking
order
these,
in the court.
yeah, taking these compliments and running with that out here. Let's relax. Let's keep it open to interpretation.
You're
I-
in Minneapolis.
Yeah, you're already a bad sign.
Well, yeah, no, but it was at Minneapolis at this club, and the show's going. It's actually going well.
Right.
I have a joke about wanting to have kids, which I
Sure.
still do because I don't write enough material. And and I'm there, and I bring up like I want to have kids. I'm like, but I'm older, and then out of nowhere, this lady like loses her mind, hysterical crying, and runs out of the room.
Right.
And I thought something happened at her table, and I was like, I'm like, oh, wow, that was weird. And I just kind of kept going because nobody said anything.
Right.
And then I go outside, and the manager comes up to me. He goes, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? What happened? What's the matter? And he goes, did you make fun of some lady because she can't have kids? And I was like, are you dumb? Like, are you seriously dumb? And I go, no, of course not. She goes, she came out here yelling and screaming because you told her, you made fun of her because she can't have any kids. And I was like, no, I wouldn't do that if you paid me $1 million.
How would you even know that information unless she offered it up?
Exactly.
You just point out some random woman in the audience like, hey, you look barren. What's going on with your uterus?
You know, the only thing I can think of is that it might have been a situation where it was like you do the rhetorical where you go, you want to have kids? I go, I want to have kids. And I pointed towards her and she went like,
immediately.
All that shit just came up.
I would love to see you do like a physical act out of someone being barren.
This woman just, every time she sees
this, no.
It's just this.
Every time this woman sees the kids section on a menu, she starts crying. Like you can't bring up kids
you can't
in
bring her
any
anywhere.
capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
If nobody can just mention kids,
Yeah.
she passes by a gymboree, she freaks out. now I'm becoming the asshole. Now I'm making fun of her because she can't have kids.
Absolutely. But this is the thing though. You gotta. I mean, I'm not going to launch into the whole thing about with comedy where it's like, this is what you got to deal with. You come into a place, a person's going to talk about shit you may not understand. That's fine. In this situation, she's also the asshole.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I have another one. I
have
one that might be more.
Asshole.
What'd you say?
There's a barren ass asshole. Yeah.
But I have one that.
As your lawyer for asshole behavior, buddy, I got you.
I'm doing pretty well.
You are.
But this one might be. This is on the borderline.
Sure.
And it's kind of tame, but I thought it was funny. I was in Virginia once, and I did a show in a small theater in Virginia. And they'll put you guys know how it is. Like they put the poster on the thing, and they'll put the people who are on the show. They'll put my face was on the poster, and this couple comes up to me. They just bought tickets from the box office, and they come up to me and they go, "You're the guy," and that's fine. And I go,
Sure.
"Yep, I'm the guy."
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's even in my head and people do this. They do it all the time when they go, "Are you funny?
Yeah.
You better be funny."
It's one of the worst
Are you funny?
interactions that we deal with all the
And
time.
it always is so cutting and so like passive aggressive and so weird. It's like I would love to dissect the psychology of that, but I go. So I was so sick of it at that point because I was in a good mood and I just hate that question.
Yeah.
And they go, "Are you funny?
Right.
You better be funny. You better be funny."
Yes,
or what?
right.
Or what? The police come in and
Yes.
break it up. So I go. I turned around and I said, "No, I'm not." And they go, they do that like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
And I go, "I'm not kidding. I've been doing comedy a month. I have no idea what I'm doing. This guy booked me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really, really nervous. What do you think I should do?"
Yeah.
And they went, and they kind of like were a little bit shell shocked,
Yeah.
right? And they were like, "Oh no!" And they did the polite, like, "It'll be fine." And I go, "No, really." I go, "Do I go up? Do I go
need
home?
something."
Should I
No.
go? Should I leave? Should I leave?"
Sure.
And they go, No. And I watched them, and they talked for a second, walked over to the box office, got their money back, and took
You
off.
got them to
got
refund
them
their
to-
shit?
You
Yeah.
made them sell back their tickets, get their money
Get
back.
their money back.
That's
Got
a big
refund.
win, though.
It's a huge win.
I mean, technically, you're out two
one of the-
people, two seats, but like, who gives a shit? That's a huge win.
I don't give a shit.
You changed their night and your night for the better.
Exactly.
Are you an asshole? Yes, but you are using your powers for good, though.
Good.
You
Yeah,
know what I
it's all
mean?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna have to say no.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Because let's put it this way. It's kind of like you wouldn't ask somebody if they're competent at their job necessarily. You kind of just go for it, right? I think, right? If you're going to a situation in hand, this might be a bit of a stretch, and I'm kind of leaning on this a little bit. So we'll see what's happening. But like, you never walk into a pizza place and go, "Is the pizza good?"
That's
Yeah.
the exact example I was going to use.
What?
You walk into a pizza place and be like, "You good at making pizza?"
Yeah.
Because I'll go somewhere. You good at making pizza?
Or
Let me
even
see.
You'll do that.
No. Well, I won't ask them.
No,
I'll
you will
examine
not.
the slices.
Oh, yeah.
I'll look at their work. You
But
know what
that's
I mean?
different.
Yeah, that is
They
different.
could have looked at your work.
They could have looked you up on YouTube.
They could have YouTubed you.
And that's what I feel
What
at this
year
point.
is this?
This is like 6 years ago. You easily could have looked me up.
Yes,
Easily.
you could have looked you up. At this
YouTube
point,
is
you've
a
done
thing.
late night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did two. I did Conan by that point. So yeah.
Okay, yes. You've had some late nights under your belt. You're easily accessible.
Yes.
I think in this situation, granted, the questions, the constant irritating questions that comedians have to endure. Are you funny? I got a joke for you. Let me tell you this. Whatever. All those things. Irritating, granted. To them, they don't see it as such. However, in this circumstance, they could have done the work.
They could have done the work.
2 seconds.
Well, not even that, because I don't think they're legitimately asking. I submit.
You sold them on it.
I
You
sold them on me.
Like there was no chance of anyone saying, "Oh, I'm only doing this a month." But you did it.
Yeah, and I committed to the bit.
Right. If anything, these people are boring because if I go into a theater show and then the person who I'm there to see perform is like, I've never done this, I'm so nervous. I'm like, this could be a fucking train wreck. This could be really
this
interesting.
Could be fun
Let's
to watch.
stick around for this. And we could still get a refund if it's
that's
really
comics.
bad. You know
kind
what
of
I mean?
like the shouting floor of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
we do like to watch people fail immensely.
But the fact of the matter is, I submit that their question was a power grab. I have a thing where there's certain, not most, 90% of audience members are not like this. 90% of them want to have a good, 95% want to be there.
Right.
But I do believe, and it's mostly dudes, but I do believe there are audience members that they purposely create these interactions with comics or before or after the show so they can take, because they never would do this. The one thing we have, we put up with a lot of shit, but the one thing we have is that we do it.
Right.
And most of the population never would, and they have a lot of respect for it, but we lose sight of that because we deal with comics all the time.
Sure.
And we don't realize, but then you'll get, once in a while, somebody will tell you like, oh my God, I would never, I don't know anybody that would do this. I would never do this.
Right.
I commend you for doing this. It's still a little bit dramatic, but that's the proper thing. It's like having some kind of respect for the attempt, because 99% of the population wouldn't do this. I think what happens a lot of the time is these people go up to like people like that go, are you funny? You better be funny. Because then, even if it is funny, we still broke your balls before the show, or even after, where you were like, or you don't have to say shit to any of the comics when you go to a comedy show. After the show, how many times people go, it was pretty good. Pretty good is it insinuates like it was okay. It was pretty good. It wasn't fantastic. Right. And guess what? I just took my little power back because I don't have the balls to do this or the thing I really wanted to do.
I don't know if it's
and
like
that might be dramatic, but I actually believe
strongly. I strongly believe 95% of people tried comedy.
You think so?
I mean, that's a gross
in your
exaggeration.
head. Yeah,
I think a lot more people tried it, didn't like it, failed at it, didn't do it, and then they don't do it anymore. And as a result, then they just critique it, and that's what it is.
Or have it in their head where they're like, I've never tried this, I would never try it, but I could probably do it.
I'd probably
do it. I'd probably be good at it.
And I solidify that by taking you down a notch.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if it is minute. It's micro. Yeah. I'm at the point now you deal with it, whatever it is.
Right.
But I have so many moments after a show and somebody says something passive aggressive.
Right.
It happened recently. It wasn't even I was hosting a show, and this woman would not stop talking to Jackie. You guys know Jackie Fabulous.
Yeah.
And her whole set, and Jackie dealt with it and killed, and the woman followed her out outside the Fab Black and was still talking to her, and Jackie was still being nice. She would not stop. This woman was loaded. I get it. She was loaded. But she should have shut the fuck up. And when Jackie was like, you got to stop. I need to do my jokes.
Right.
And then she comes outside. She's still talking to her. Jackie goes, listen, I got to go. And then she's like, all right, blah, 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 whatever it was. Turns and looks at me, and I just shook my head. Like,
You're not gonna
and then
get
she
it out of
goes,
me.
what? She goes, she's not nice? I go, no, you're not nice. You fucked up.
Yeah.
I go, because why can't, if you make that, why can't you do somebody a favor and go, you made the mistake. Don't ever do that again.
Right.
Don't ever talk in during somebody's whole entire set. It's rude. You're just being a rude individual.
Right.
So it's like, why can they say whatever they want and we can't make them feel awkward back?
Donnelly, you need to carry like a nightstick. Because I've seen you go to bat for other comics and shit. And you are the guy where it's like, listen, I know Jackie has to be nice or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
I'm gonna
tell you
fucking
tell you what's up.
Yeah.
I don't have to be nice.
You're the warden.
Yeah.
You're coming in there.
I've done it multiple times. I happened in Gotham once too.
Yeah, of
Somebody was-
course. I could see you doing that thing. It requires course correction. A lot of people don't. I don't think they really understand what they're necessarily doing.
I think you're right. I think some of them, but I think
Yes,
some of them do.
some of them.
The same way where you have guys try to they'll come with a girl, you'll make the girl laugh. They try to tip you. Like I like a big wig. Big wig. I don't know who they are.
Who are you?
They own a Mazda dealership down the street. Right. But they a lot of guys will try to. I had guys try to. I will never. You will never catch me taking a tip for comedy. Never in a million years. I don't care if I do not care.
You know when I needed you?
Especially from a guy. Like,
It's demeaning.
Yeah.
I needed you a few years ago. A few years ago, this happened to me. If you know me, you know that I wear the same outfit all the time.
That's true.
Even on stage. It's like I have stage clothes, and that's kind of what I wear. It might be one or two outfits, that's it.
And it's real emo.
Ow.
I'm kidding around.
Ow.
No,
it's a little emo.
There
But
should
that's
be
not what I'm going
there
for.
should be a bell of success that gets wrong here. I like how you're discovering this now.
I was wearing...
It's emo.
It's not emo.
It's fine. It's
all
fine.
black in giant boots. What do you mean? I'm wearing Doc Martens and I've got a sullen attitude.
But I'll tell you, I love it.
I've got a pack of smokes in the top pocket of my jacket.
I'm not
and
wearing
I
eyeshadow.
stare off into the distance in the parking lot of every comedy club I've ever been to. This isn't emo.
I'm kind of a sullen comic, you know?
Yeah.
So I went through this period of time where I was always wearing this light gray jacket on stage. I wore it on stage for like 2 years or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I had this fucking guy come up to me after a show. I had a great set. No problems, no hecklers, no. I had a great set. I'm saying goodnight to people after the show. This guy walks up to me with this girl. He's got a 20 pinched between his two fingers.
I
and he
love it.
puts it against my chest and he goes, "You're really funny. Buy a new jacket." And you know what I did, Sean?
Check it.
I took that 20 and I said, "Fuck." I was like, "All right, man, thanks." I was like, yeah, thanks. Like I didn't say.
How
Fuck
many years
you.
were you into comedy? Because here's the thing.
Less
This is
than 10.
This is not me. My whole. No, I would have done the same shit.
I was
under
broke.
10. I
saw $20 and I was like, "You could spit in my mouth and I'll take this $20." You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you right now.
$20 is $20.
I'm gonna tell you right, Dennis won't do that today, but for 40.
Yeah, for $40.
Well, inflation.
I did stop wearing the jacket shortly thereafter.
That's insane.
But
Not
yeah,
because-
looking back, I
not
needed
because
you
of
to
that
step in
guy.
and be like, "You can't talk to my boy that way."
Well,
He
not-
doesn't need a new jacket.
Oh, I would have done it. I would have. Oh, I don't care. I would have done it immediately.
Yeah.
But also, you didn't stop wearing the jacket because of that guy.
No, I didn't stop wearing it. It was just time for a new
But
jacket.
that's a perfect example. What? How else? How else do you constrict? What
Like-
else do you take away from that interaction?
Other than
what it was is this:
disrespect.
you made my lady laugh. Guess what? I have some money. This is what I can do. I can take a shot at you.
Yeah.
yeah.
And with under the guise that it's within polite parameters.
I'm so mad I took the money
and,
now.
and break your balls. No, I get it. I would have done the same thing. Oh no, I only started doing this X amount of years ago. And here's the thing, man.
I've taken hundreds of dollars from people.
No. I don't think I've ever taken that yet. But when it's happened, I've been like, no. Like I've been like, well, a guy tried to give me 100 once, and I was like, no, thank you. And he was like, what are you talking about? I go, no, thank you. It's fine. It's fine. Because no, I got paid for my job. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I don't work. I'm not waitering for you. It's
Was
not,
he a
it's not
dick?
service industry.
What if someone came with you really polite and was like, "I had so much fun. I know comedy is
It's always exactly how you just said it with
Some
the
guy
guy.
being a dick.
It's always in between the two fingers and here you go, kid. Go get yourself something nice.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
an adult. I'll be okay.
feels like charity as opposed to like, you know what, I had such a good time. I know comedy is a tough road. Take this and buy yourself. Have a nice meal
that's
on the road
different.
this week.
They look
That's
at
very
you-
I
different.
still wouldn't take it, but that's
They
different.
look at you
Huh?
closer to as a server
Yes.
than you as like a manager or somebody with a job that's like not in the service industry.
Or how about an artist? How about
Yeah.
And here's the thing: the artist thing, fine. You can argue that till the cows come home, if
Yes.
you will.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just saying, like, the thing wanted to like really. I've been more and more comfortable with over the years is like, you came to see me. You
Right.
came to see me.
Right.
I'm the boss of this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that, and that goes a long way. Like you paid to see me.
Right.
You're not going to give me. You're not giving me the service money.
Sean
you
says
bought
this
tickets.
into the mirror before every show. They came to see me.
Yeah.
I'm the boss of this tonight. It's
I'm the
my
boss.
big
I
dick.
become De Niro and Raging Bull and just punch him. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I'm the boss.
Slapping yourself in the face over and over, getting yourself hyped up to go out there.
No, but what I mean by
He
that,
brings his own mirror.
but it's one of those things where it's like it is true, and it's one of those things where it's like I control the same way that even a minor version of that when somebody in the audience will be like, no, keep going like that, and you're like, you don't tell me what to do.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then
Yeah.
I'll say that shit now. Like I'm the director, and you'll say it in a goofy way, so that it kind of gets a little bit. It always gets a little bit of, mostly always gets a little bit of laugh. But like to go like, no, I'm the director of this show. You don't. I'll do it. I'll read the fucking phone book up here for an hour.
Right, absolutely.
That's like that Mike Yard story. You know the Mike Yard story when he
No.
went to a college, I think it was, and it's true. I talked to him about it, and he said. They wouldn't stop talking. It was like, like a lot of crowds. They would not stop talking. He goes, guys, you got to stop talking.
College
And then-
gig, you said, right?
College gig.
Okay.
And he goes, and finally he goes, if you don't stop talking, he goes, my contract just says I have to be up here on stage for an hour.
Right.
That's all it says. If you don't stop talking, I'll stop talking.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't stop. And he just stopped. And for about, I would say, I think at least a half hour, he just sat on the stage.
Yeah.
And people just trickled out like that. And then there was like 4 people at the end. And he goes, out of curiosity, why did you stay? And they're like, we wanted to see if you do it the whole time.
Yeah.
But the balls to do that. It's like,
Yes.
it's true.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that is sticking to your guns. That's like, I control, this is on me.
Yeah.
Because the thing is this, we get the wins and the losses on the laughs.
Right.
So we go through that. We fuck ourselves in our heads from that already. We don't need the added little social interactions of you trying to take back the power or you being a little bit passive aggressive, whatever it is. Just either don't say anything or say, good job, thanks, or hey, if you loved it, say it. Who cares?
Right.
It doesn't make the difference. We're still going to go and do it 15 times more that week. You know, does that make sense?
Right. Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. 100%.
Not to get too soapboxy.
No. I think about the takeaway here is on average, Sean Donnelly, not the asshole.
Yes.
I think that's the big
Not
takeaway.
the asshole, also very dangerous. This is a guy. After
can't
the
be
show,
trusted.
After the show, just give a wave.
Yeah.
We loved you.
Yeah. Wave and
Keep
walk
it
out.
moving.
Right.
Don't fucking, no criticisms. We don't want to hear any of that. No tags.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Just-
Tags. I didn't even cover that shit.
All right, quick thing we'll get into before we move on to the next thing that we got to talk about. Top 5 countries that have been tuning in this week. We got Australia, Norway, Canada, Germany, the United Kingdom. Good to know United Kingdom.
good one.
Still on the list.
I'm going to go to Australia so bad.
The stuff we said
After the
about
Queen stuff.
yeah.
You.
Yeah, that's true.
the
I've said
Queen.
some awful things about the Queen.
Very anti-colonial.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that amongst 2 Irishmen, you guys would feel the same way. But all right. But here we are then. You know what I mean?
asked my dad.
Looks like this soda bread is weak on the bread side.
I checked in with my pops. I was like, the Queen died. Fuck her, right? And he was like, no, she's just some lady. She's like, relax. I was like, oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I thought we had hard stances.
You're checking in.
It's like I've been in America for 50 years.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know her.
You come in there with a gun. We riding, right, Dad? And he's like, no, Dennis.
My dad's
no.
like, I'm mad at Cablevision. Not the Queen. Queen didn't do shit to me.
Is that a bit you do?
No.
I know. I don't. That's a bit. That's definitely a bit.
That's not. I hate when people.
I know
come
people
up to
do
you after
that.
shows
Wow.
like you. No, I'm
know
just
what?
kidding. I should.
Here we
I
go.
need more of that.
Sean
I'm
Donnelly, huge
no.
asshole.
I'm kidding, Sean. Thank you for telling me. I should write that down. Remind me.
Well, yeah. No, that's great.
San Francisco, San Antonio, L.A., Austin, Livingston, New Jersey, still in the cut.
All my favorite sands.
Absolutely. Big fan of that. Dennis, you had something you wanted to discuss. Let's get into it.
Are you guys doing your part over these invasive species coming here? The lanternflies?
No, I'll tell you somebody who is.
Who?
Andy Fiore. You guys know Andy?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's he doing?
He's like on a mission. He's like like an assassin with these things.
Really?
And he goes, and
stomping them
he
out.
said those words to me. I didn't get one. They're also pretty fast.
Yeah.
He said though, he goes, "You're not doing your part."
You got to do your part. You got to do your part.
I'm like, "What are you, the wolf, the fixer of the?"
Well, here's my thing. There's a new one every year, isn't there? I feel like every summer there's like another invasive bug species.
No.
That it's like if you see.
This is the first one I heard. They're like, "Kill it."
Yeah. No.
I've-
Murder bees, murder wasps. They said avoid them.
Yes.
Yeah, they-
and also they're
yeah.
on like the West Coast, and they're very
Yes, but they said that avoid those.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of bugs you should kill, lanternflies have been the thing that people have been saying. They say go after them. Now, where I live, right, North Brooklyn, there's this building like right across the street that they pulled up, that they just put up, and that one block, and I kid you not, there are 50 dead lanternflies
Where is this?
just right across the street.
What? Because somebody's doing it.
Somebody's been stomping them out.
Yeah.
I
they're
can't
just-
even walk my dog there.
It's like a hotbed of activity.
It's a hotbed of activity, and you just see crushed lanternflies. It's disgusting. It's truly disgusting.
Well, it's better than live lanternflies, right?
Yeah,
also, it's like by promoting people to do this or like encouraging them, aren't you just creating a bunch of Jeffrey Dahmers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that what he did? He killed small animals when he was
don't
a
think
I
bugs
don't think
count.
I'm kidding about
Okay,
it.
all right.
I don't
Yeah, I think
bugs
that's fair.
count,
Yeah, bounce
but it
bugs
could
don't
be
count.
a gateway drug.
Yeah.
Could be a gateway bug.
Yeah.
You go from
I like gateway bug.
I like gateway bug.
Yeah, all right, well, I'm
Like after bark. Same lines.
yeah. Well,
Animal related.
Yeah, you get the forgiveness. He doesn't. He knows better. He knows what.
You think I want to hear this?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: couldn't you graduate to like chipmunks and squirrels and
invasive species? I will say this though. I was.
Well, have you been in New York? Pigeons.
Yeah.
And
No,
squirrels
no,
invasive.
no,
they don't
no,
give
no.
a fuck. They don't
I
get away for
I don't
anything.
consider pigeons invasive.
You ever kick a pigeon?
Never.
Well, you should. They're an invasive bird species.
I will
Every
say this.
time you
Though,
see a
I will
pigeon,
say that
kill
when
it.
I was younger, I did used to take rubber bands and hit squirrels.
That
Really?
sounds fun now.
Yeah.
That's
it was
not hurting them, right?
No, it would irritate them. However, I remember it was 6th grade. We had an elementary school in New York City. There was a dance, like a 6th grade dance, sort of like a prom.
Yeah.
And my plan was
Smaller
I
boobs.
can't wait
Yeah.
to hear how this is related.
So my goal wasn't to go. My goal is I bought a bag of rubber bands, and my goal is to avoid going to prom and instead just walk around the neighborhood hitting squirrels with rubber bands. as like a thing.
The fact that you're not a serial killer
as a thing to do.
You're making the case for you to be a Dom.
Yeah. I understand that. I understand that.
There'll be a Netflix series about you in 30 years.
But oh, God.
the happiest night of all my peers' lives. I was out shooting rubber bands at Wildlife.
I think that they call that incel training.
Yeah. You know what's really sad? I'm just looking forward to the Netflix credit.
You know what else is an invasive species? These immigrants. That's what it is.
Well, this took a turn, huh?
I know. My God, I'm gonna have to start leaning this way. Yeah. So but this is what happened. One, there was this girl that I really liked, and I wanted to ask her out. And
I brought you this squirrel.
In his mouth.
Lays it at her feet like a prize.
I make them as puppets, and I start enacting. Yeah.
Would you like to go to the dance?
I would like to go to the dance with you. Here's some nuts that I brought.
Kiss.
I'm banging their heads together. Their skulls are crushing into each other.
The fur's flying off.
Yeah. It's like that Seinfeld episode when Kramer starts shaking the hat that's made out of rat.
He goes, that can't be good for business.
That can't be good for anybody. So what happened was, what was the tide that turned everything that forced me to go, I should probably ask her out, was that when I was walking home, the squirrels, unprompted from me previous recognition, started chasing me home.
They did. Really?
Yeah. I had to run into my building because they were coming after me at different
They're a
points.
very individual species. Yeah. They banded together.
Yeah. Like, and I don't know if it was one or several, but every time I was coming near my building, one would see me and start darting towards me, and I have to run into the building and close the door. And it reached a point where I threw away all the rubber bands, and my mom had asked me, "Why are you throwing away all these rubber bands?" And I said, "I don't need them anymore."
These squirrels were meeting up.
I've given up my campaign against these squirrels.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Let me ask Mary to prom, and I think that's the safer bet.
I'm going to put down this life of squirrel hunting.
Yes.
And make a family for myself. Just like my father wanted from me. These squirrels were getting together, and they were like, are you guys also being terrorized by this kid? It's time. We've had enough. They're having like the meeting in American History X before they raid the supermarket. They're like, this used to be a safe neighborhood. I used to be able to go get my nuts without being harassed. It ends tonight.
These trees were free to climb. There's no problem. One of the squirrels gets a tattoo on his chest.
These squirrels have pantyhose over their head, running you down.
I love the idea of squirrel American History X. Squirrel gets raped in jail. Later on, his little paw is just covering up.
You know what this tail means? Not welcome. He's got no more hair on its tail. He's like, this is what happens.
You know what these claws mean? Will annoy the shit out of you.
We're going to teach you what it's like to be vermin, boy. And they just rape him in the shower.
Jesus.
A tinier squirrel writing a report about the other squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny as shit. Squirrel American History X?
Little squirrel typing on a little squirrel typewriter. Hate is just emotional baggage. That's what I've learned.
You're a chicken hawk, Cam.
The Ethan Suplee squirrel? It's
just a fatter squirrel?
Yeah, it's just a badger. All right, that was fun.
That's fantastic. All right, what do we got to do? Anything? I think we're good.
I got nothing right now.
Nothing to promote?
Follow me on Instagram at dennisrooney7. Listen to my other podcast, Netflix Book Club.
Fantastic work. What was I going to say? I got some shows coming up. It's funny. The phone call that I got was my girlfriend looking for the car, and she couldn't find it.
Oh, shoot.
And now she's very upset at me, but she's like,
call her back.
It's too late now. It's been 30 minutes. So, it is what it is.
She probably found it.
No, she did not, because I gave her the wrong place that it was located.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to deal with that situation.
She's doing her own podcast right now. Like, still can't find this car. It's been 3 days.
This will be the last episode because you'll be murdered.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do we got going on? I will be at I'll be at the Funny Bone in Virginia Beach with Akash Singh. That's coming up. I'll be in the tour. Oh, that's not a show I need to promote.
While you're looking that up, also, if you are in Tennessee, I'm going to be in Chattanooga the week of October 5th. I'll also be in Nashville at Zany's that Monday. I believe it's Monday, October 3rd, I want to say.
Right.
So check that out. And I will be in Asheville, North Carolina. That's Saturday. I think it's October 8th. But again, follow me on Instagram. That's where you'll see all the dates.
Right. Actually, you go to the website All Day KCA. All the links are there, and the website's updated to show every show that I got coming up. I got shows in Connecticut, shows in Jersey, shows in Pennsylvania. All the shows are listed there till basically December. So you go to the website, All Day KCA. All the information is there. All the ticket links are there and all that stuff. Also, I do, Sean, obviously, Brand New Jerks, the podcast. Fantastic. You do it with Ray Zawadney.
Yes.
Anything else you want to?
Yeah, I'm at Shawnee Time on Instagram and Twitter. And then probably in October, I'll be having like it should be a not so special. It's going to be like a half hour of comedy coming out of my YouTube channel.
Nice.
So if you type in Shawnee Donnelly on YouTube, I should pop right up.
I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to be a special. I'm always stoked about it. I love watching you.
Thank you, buddy.
Sean's one of the best. Definitely check him out. Definitely check out his podcast.
Absolutely. And as always, meet us outside.